A major gridlock alert day here in the city, as you have heard over and over. The UN General Assembly brings leaders from around the world right here to New York.
And today, traffic is expected to be especially heavy as President Trump addresses the General Assembly later this morning. Elijah Westbrook covers transportation for us live in Midtown with the latest. Elijah.
Hey there, good morning to you once again, Cindy and Chris. So to put all of this in perspective, officials say that the average vehicle speed in this area could drop to as low as 4 miles per hour. They also say once certain world leaders get to this side of town, including President Trump, it's possible that you may not be moving at all, right? Because, of course, you have those motorcades and entourage, if you will, that's following along, and that within itself could halt traffic later on this morning. So let's break this down even further for you. Let's help you out a bit. The NYPD has identified the most significant road closures pictured here. So we're talking 41st through 48th Streets between 1st and 2nd Avenues are shut down. 1st Avenue closed in the same stretch. Parts of the FDR Drive are impacted as well. And of course, this will remain in effect through Friday. Now, drivers should expect spontaneous closures, as we said, as more than 150 world leaders move around the city. If you must drive, avoid Midtown East and try to stay on the west side or north of 72nd Street and south of 34th Street. Now, making matters worse, a protest is scheduled for 9:30 this morning right near the UN, further complicating getting around the area. The protest is anticipated to bring in thousands of Iranians who say they will rally with American dignitaries condemning the presence of the president of the Iranian regime at the UN. So again, today is certainly not the day to be a driver here in NYC. Public transit will be your best way to maneuver around the city. We're live this morning here in Midtown. Elijah Westbrook, CBS News, New York.
Elijah, thank you. The general debate kicks off at the UN today. The leaders gathered from across the globe will be listening closely to President Trump's remarks. Christina Fan joins us live outside the UN headquarters with more on what to expect today. Christina?
Good morning, Chris. President Trump is expected to be one of the first speakers who will be addressing the UN General Assembly when the general debate begins later on today, and his remarks will hold great significance as the U.S. increasingly isolates itself and has also stripped financial funding from the world body. The U.S. is currently at odds with over half of its member nations, including key allies, over the war in Gaza. On Monday, France became the latest country to recognize Palestinian statehood, a move the U.S. and Israel strongly oppose. Since taking office, President Trump has withdrawn the U.S. from the World Health Organization and the UN Human Rights Council. He has also ordered a review of U.S. membership in hundreds of intergovernmental organizations to see if they align with the priorities of his America First agenda. According to the White House press secretary, President Trump's speech will focus on, quote, the renewal of American strength around the world and his efforts to help end several wars. International relations experts explain the impact the administration's latest actions may have.
His historic accomplishments in just 8 months, including the ending of 7 global wars and conflicts. The president will also touch upon how globalist institutions have significantly decayed the world order, and he will articulate his straightforward and constructive vision for the world.
As the U.S. becomes less engaged with the UN, it creates an opening, especially for China, to become more engaged in terms of having their nationals in key UN roles. So as over the last 8 to 10 years, as the U.S. is less active in the UN, China is more active, and that will have long-term implications for how the organization operates.
It is a busy day ahead for President Trump. After addressing the General Assembly this morning, he will then hold a series of one-on-one meetings with the UN Secretary General and the leaders of Ukraine, Argentina, and the European Union. He will then hold a group meeting with officials from 8 other countries, including Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey. President Trump will then end the night by hosting a reception with more than 100 invited world leaders before flying back to Washington, D.C. Reporting live on the East Side, Christina Fan, CBS News, New York.
Christina, thank you. And stay with us for complete coverage all week of the General Assembly. For more on the speakers and the street closures, go to our website, cbsnewyork.com.